Strikers. One of the most publicized positions in football, but also one of the most complex. Influenced by the evolution of tactical approaches, its role has constantly evolved over time. Today, the striker is a category that encompasses several positions, from the pure fox in the box to the false nine via the pivot. The latter also designates several profiles. Thus, while some strikers live only by and for goals, others aspire to participate more in their team's play. This is generally referred to as a false number 9. What does this term really mean? Sit back and let us explain. Traditionally in football, the number 9 has always been the center forward. Positioned close to the penalty area, he is the focal point of his team in the offensive phase and usually plays with his back to the opposition defense. Of course, a false number 9 does not have the same role as a traditional 9. Generally positioned in a 4-3-3, his role will be to drop off in midfield or on the sides to participate more in the game. By coming between the lines, the false number 9 will create extra space and thus facilitate for his teammates easy 1-2 or triangle passing options in the heart of the game. On the other hand, for the opposing defenders who defend in the zone, his positioning is a real headache. Either they let the player leave their zone, thus exposing themselves to a dribble or a long shot if he decides to play in front of the goal, but above all to defend from behind, or they follow him and take the risk of playing out of position, putting the whole defense in danger as space becomes available at his back. It is no coincidence that false-footed wingers have become more common in recent years. In short, the false 9 is above all a creator of space. He allows his teammates to be constant threats to the opposing defense. And although it has only been characterized as such in the 21st century, the role has existed for many decades. In the 1930s and 1940s, Austria's Matthias Sindelar and Argentina's Adolfo Pedernera were the epitome of these highly mobile center forwards. Their movement was a way of escaping the individual marking and physical challenge of opposing center backs. Post-war, Alfredo Di Stefano continued the tradition by moving the center circle to orchestrate Real Madrid's play. But the first false 9 in football to become a global institution was undoubtedly Nandor Hidekuti, a striker for Hungary in the 1950s. Later, Johan Cruyff in the 4-3-3 of the Netherlands in 1974. Or Michael Laudrup in the 3-4-3 diamond of the Flying Dutchman's Barca would also materialize this notion of the false 9. It was only in the 2000s when Luciano Spalletti decided to place Totti at the top of his Roma team due to a lack of strikers, that the role of the false 9 was reborn. Bringing his playmaker characteristics to his new position, the Italian eventually scored 26 goals in 35 games, the best total of his career. Nevertheless, neither players nor coaches nor journalists defined Totti as a finto nove at the time. To hear the term false 9 used in the locker room and in the press, it was not until Pep Guardiola's Barcelona. Instead of using Messi as a right winger, the coach decided to place him in the middle between the lines. As a result, La Pulga terrorized opposing defenses even more, scoring more goals and providing more chances. As for Barca, the club lived one of the most beautiful pages of its history with the successes that we know. In the wake of the great Barca, La Roja will also have remained at the top by more or less voluntarily doing without a professional striker, at least at Euro 2012, used as a substitute for Fernando Torres. Cesc Fabregas will prove to be a valuable asset in this position. However, his positioning will raise many questions. Unlike Lionel Messi, the Spaniard is a trained midfielder. And while Spain will talk about a player who remains at the forefront of the attack to provide a tactical variation through his atypical movements, it is the idea of a system without a striker that will gradually emerge outside the Iberian borders. What does it matter? One thing is certain: above-average passing and dribbling, finishing from near and far, and above all, intelligence are the qualities required to play as a false 9. A range that is basically very similar to that of the trequartista, and which makes the term false 9 one of the most ambiguous in our sport. In fact, isn't he the number 10 of modern football? Zlatan Ibrahimovic, or Wayne Rooney at one time, Antoine Griezmann, but especially Roberto Firmino, or Karim Benzema are currently the best answers. Halfway between the role of center forward and that of attacking midfielder, capable of scoring, making others score, and making others play, they are the cornerstone of the team's offensive animation. It is no coincidence that Real Madrid in the BBC era and Liverpool today owe their recent success on the European stage to them. Who do you think are the best false number 9s at the moment? Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, don't hesitate to talk about our channel around you, to like it, to share it. See you soon for a new video. Ciao! Cesc Fabregas will prove to be a valuable asset in this position.